You're watching Kicking It with Onrie, the live shopping show. Everybody, we are here in the final hour of the Warline campaign, and with me is Chuck Pino. Chuck, I love what you've done with your hair.
Oh, honestly, this is just, I misplaced my hat, and so I'm not wearing it. That's really all it is.
All right, I would like to introduce everybody who is watching the show tonight to our to a new guest, but he's not new to us because we've been working with him for a while. You're familiar with his work. Please welcome Mr. Steve Cannon. How you doing, dude?
Hey, what's up, guys? What's going on?
Good to see you, brother.
Steve, nice to finally meet you, man.
Yeah, how's it going?
Going good.
We're doing great, man. So for those of you guys who don't know, Steve is the colorist on Warline. This is his first time joining us on a live stream. And he is the guy who's responsible for making Warline look all realistic and cool and colorfully and all that stuff. How you doing, dude? What's new? What you working on?
I'm today just hanging out. I'd had to put the baby to bed, but I'm good to go.
Oh, right on, man. That's awesome. Chuck and I are both big Wolverine fans, and I noticed the Omega Red Wolverine cover in the back.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta have the Jim Lee somewhere in here.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, for sure. So Chris Steiskell saying Chuck Pino is the Obi-Wan on comic creators. This is. I agree with that 100%.
That's pretty sweet. I'll take that.
All right, guys. Well, we're in the final hour of the Warline Kickstarter campaign right now. I have dropped the link in the comments for anyone who is interested. We funded this morning. We're in a really good place right now where we've unlocked the second stretch goal. The first stretch goal was just for getting funded, and that means that everybody's getting a Warline button. And I will show you guys what these buttons look like in just a second here. There we go. Every physical copy backer is getting one of these tight buttons here from Ken's Buttons. And you guys are also getting bookmarks because we unlocked the second one too. And so now we have exactly 55 minutes to unlock the third and final stretch goal, which is a custom-made comic book board with that's got Warline art on it. So we are less than $800 away from getting it. It's a stretch, but it's not impossible. We still have some original art up on the campaign, and I'm going to just share the campaign. We're going to look at the campaign screen real quick, and then if you guys have any questions you want to ask Steve or anything like that, like feel free to do so. Like, he's here. He made time to be here with us, so he's a very handsome guy, but he's interesting. We got David Moore in the house. David Moore, what's up, brother?
What up?
All right.
I do have a question for Steve. Steve, was there a specific like book or colorist or style that inspired you to go the way that you did for this book?
I wouldn't say there was like a specific artist or style. I kind of, when I got the pages, I looked at the art and was like, what would be the best fit? Because the art on Warline has a very like unique look, has a lot of heavy ink wash and texture and stuff. So it's almost like you're setting a vibe more than you're like trying to render, because all the information's already there. So if you start doing too much, you're kind of gonna get in the way. So it was an interesting approach, because I usually am like a total like noodler, I want to like get in there and like super render like everything. So it was definitely a little bit different on that one.
I like that. I love how the pages came out, man.
Oh,
Yeah, he did such incredible work, and we Steve and I had like very long conversations about all of these pages and everything that we did together, and it didn't take him long to convince me that to just trust his process. Like, he just knew what he was doing the whole time. I absolutely love all of the pages that he turned in, And I'm just so happy, especially with this cover, man. Like this really pops, and all the creative decisions we made, for this cover. I'm just really thrilled and happy that it turned out the way it did.
Thank you, man. I'm glad you dig the work. Yeah, Warline is kind of cool because a lot of the coloring is mostly just storytelling oriented. So it was nice to kind of really figure out like what colors best express the mood of like the scenes and stuff without having to worry so much about like, okay, I gotta render all these faces like perfectly, or like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, for sure, man. It's it's such a delicate process too, because it's like you don't want your colors to overpower like the inks and everything. And I think you made a really good decision in not over rendering everything, and just allowing Dexter's inks to do what they do, and just adding the color, and you put color in all the right places and all the right things. And I think you and I were talking about the same colors that we were inspired by. Like forgot the guy, who's the guy who was working on Batman with Jorge Jimenez during
Tomeo Moret. He's been a long time Batman colorist for a while. I think since Tom King.
Oh, okay.
He's been on it pretty much the whole time. Yeah, he's one of the best. I would say he's one of my favorites. I have a few other guys that I like Marte Gracia he does Spider-Man right now. He's awesome. Alex Sinclair, of course. Yeah, I don't know. There's so many talented colorists out there that it's hard to even pick.
Awesome. Well, we are now joined by Warline's artist, Dexter Wee from the Philippines. Dexter, how you doing? Can you hear us? Dexter?
He's not in the Philippines. Yes, he's in Lightspeed.
He's Lightspeed. He's coming all the way from across the coast to be here. Thank you, Travis. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. You were a massive help for us on getting this funded. With the creator hangout you hosted that night. That was a big help, and just thank you for everything you do for the community, dude. We
absolutely.
Yeah, got a lot of respect for you, buddy. We got a nice full room here. Dexter, how you doing, man? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you well. It's
awesome.
Raining here.
Well, thank you for being here today. I hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we got the only person we're missing tonight, very unfortunately, is Joel Saavedra. Our letterer was, a lot of people think, not a lot of people think, but some people have this preconceived notion that the letterer is not technically considered a part of the team, but we take our letterer very seriously. And if we didn't have our letterer, we wouldn't have our books. So he's the last guy who's holding off, who's doing all the touch-ups on the pages, and obviously adding letters and page numbers, because we can't not have page numbers in any of our books.
and he puts up with our crap, because like when you guys are done, we go over the book, like even when it's already lettered, we go back over it again, and we look at the art and what's being said, and we go, does this match? Are we happy with this? And Onrie and I have made, like, especially on this last issue, made a lot of changes to really like go like, oh, you know what? Originally they said this, but now because of the art, it looks differently. We need to change this. And so actually, like, Joel's been really awesome about taking these last minute changes and allowing them and really really bringing forth the spirit of Warlion. So he's badass, man. I love the whole team.
We love you too, Chuck. And honestly, you had a big hand in helping us get to this point. With you helping me out in the very beginning stages. But all of you guys are so pivotal to this process. And I think this is the first time I've ever had the entire creative team of comic I work together, and minus the letterer, which is an important part of it. But I'm very glad to have all you guys here right now. So my hope for this campaign in the last hour, because we got let's look at how many minutes we got here. We have 47 minutes. We're at $5,200. I would realistically like to get to $5,500. It's only $300, less than $300 away from funding or getting $5,500. And if we could hit $6,000, we will unlock this final stretch goal here, which is the custom-made comic book board. But we can still do this. The way that we're going to need to do it, though, is for someone to pick up these last pieces of original art here. So we have, let's see, which pages do we have available still? We have page 20, which is a really cool page. I will blow it up for you guys in just a minute. And then we have page 29 and page 39. And you know what I think we should do, since we have everyone here? Why don't we talk a little bit about the process of each page? And what I'll do is, since I have everything on my computer, I can pull up the pages. You know, Dexter, you can maybe talk a little bit about what we worked on together. And then Steve, you can talk about, you know, the coloring process. And then we'll just kind of go. And, you know, Chuck's really good at coming up with questions because he's like the Obi-Wan of awesome interviewing and stuff. So we'll kind of go from there. Does that sound good to everybody, by the way?
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So let's get page 20 up here. I will present here. Hang on. All right. Hang on. Image 5.
Diyan, bangko.
Okay.
Thank you.
Even showing that.
Man, Dex is being pulled into the portal, man.
Yeah, he's totally being pulled into the portal. All right, stop
I'm
screen,
back.
share screen. There we go. Okay, cool. All right, we're there. Okay, so this is page 20. This is one of the original art that we have here. And without spoiling, you know, anything for anyone who hasn't read issues 1 and 2 yet, you know, this is a pretty important page, I think, in the story, because this is where we start to see Kia really showing off what she can do, like the full extent of her power. And, you know, Dexter did a really great job laying out this page and drawing it. And Dexter, do you have anything you want to share about working on this particular page here? It's one of the original art pages that we have up on the campaign right now.
Okay, I'm trying to remember. Like this was like done a long time ago. The middle panel. Did you give me some instruction on that, or did I just invent stuff?
Yeah, I think we kind of. I think we had some. We made some adjustments to those final 2 panels there because you know, like I wanted to. For those of you guys who know the twist in the story, the hey Annie, thank you very much. You know, to kind of reverse what was happening between the 2 characters. So Warline would be the silhouetted figure, and Kia would kind of like start coming to life more. You know, coming into the picture more. That was such a heavy-handed thing to say. God, I suck. Chuck, you can cancel me, dude.
You're done.
You're done. I'm done. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, let's. Dexter's work on a bunch of pages here, so we'll. But this is one of the pages that we have left, and I really like this page because of the, you know, all the action poses and everything that Dexter has managed to nail pretty quickly here. And in fact, that's what's so cool about this page is he got it done so rapidly, and it turned out so beautifully. And Chuck, do you have anything you want to add about this page before we move to the color?
You know, this page is really huge. If you finished issues 1 and if you finished issue 2, and you kind of know the big wrench that we threw into things, then you have a pretty good idea of how important this page is. And there's certainly that leap from what happened at the end of issue 2, and now here we are on page 20. So halfway through the book, how is this happening? And so I love the motion. I love anytime, you know, in comics, we're supposed to have 1 piece of action per panel. And every once in a while, as writers, we just go, hey, artist, do you think you can do multiple things? Like, do you think you can really pack in all of this stuff into one small spot? And so anytime they're able to pull it off well, I get super excited. And this is definitely one of those pages where the action is there, but it's not confusing. We know where the movement's going. We know what's going on. Our eyes know where to move. And that's not always easy to do because you've got multiple focus points. But he's worked in a way that allows us to move and know exactly where we're supposed to be looking without getting all confused. So yeah, I really dig this page, and you guys are missing out not seeing it colored also.
Yeah, well, before we move on to the color, I just want to say that is so well said. You know, like thank you for putting it in that in those words. And again, Dexter has the original art here, so when you guys back at the original art level, I'm just going to let you guys know what you're getting with that package right now. You're getting the original art piece. You're going to get all 3 issues of War Lion, and you're also going to get the digital copies of all 3 books too. Shipping's included. You got free shipping on your order, and there you go. So this is one of those pages. That's page 20. I'm now going to close it out, and we're going to open up.
Oh, it's here. It's here.
Oh, he's got it. Okay, cool. Here, let's give Dexter the screen here.
Wait.
He's got the original
I'm
art.
going.
It's coming at you at light speed, everyone. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, Dexter, for showing it.
Okay.
All right, awesome. Oh, man. All right, so let's bring on the next stop screen. Share screen. This is weird. Here we go. And now we're back. Okay, so Steve, take it away, man. What was your, like, I didn't hold your hand at all with this. Like, you just went, in your own direction here. So do you want to tell us a little bit about what your thought process was when you were coloring this page?
Yeah. Well, there's certain things that I don't know if I'm supposed to say.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
try and be as spoiler-free as you can.
Well, let's just say that when you see the page, you might wonder certain things about why the lines are the color they are, and they're for a reason. Other than that, it's just kind of highlighting the action and really setting the mood for the environment of the city that they're in is very apocalyptic. With the red skies and everything is kind of falling apart and random fires in buildings and stuff. So it's just kind of continuing that vibe and trying to lead the eye through the page,
Yeah, no. I guess I would really like to spoil it for everyone. But again, for anyone who hasn't read War Lion, I don't want to do that. But just to let you guys know, Steve made a really awesome decision when it came to the way he colored Kia specifically. So just pay attention to that. And when you notice, there's a reason why she's a little bit, let's just say, brighter than War Lion is. But it all is done intentionally. And it was totally his thinking as a colorist and as a storyteller, too. Because when we were talking about this stuff, it was like, hey, why don't we try doing this so that, it just allows the story to tell itself better. And it's amazing how each member of the creative team amplifies the story. I mean, it's Dexter with, just knocking it out with the layouts based on the script that I wrote and then, inking it and just doing all this wonderful detail. But then it's also Steve's job, rather than focusing on just rendering this page, he's like, how can we tell the story better using color? So I really love that. And I think, it would be great if we had Joel here to talk about the lettering process more, but you guys can see there's
You know what though? Do you mind if I do talk on Joel's behalf? Because actually what I was talking about earlier, Joel did a really good job. Actually, Joel and Steve. Because that middle panel, we're watching those bursts, and we can follow with our eyes those bursts through, and we know exactly which hit comes first and which hit comes last. We know where our eyes are supposed to be moving, and that's because all 3 of these artists work well together. Dexter drew something that then Steve was able to look at and go, cool, I know exactly where everything's supposed to move. And so he create those bursts with the kind of darker background. It's, I'm not a color guy. Color, I always say color is my weak point, but you've got a really beautiful feeling of cold and warmth here, with that colder background, and of course these warmer bursts of energy and whatnot. And so it really draws the eyes. And then if you follow the actual lettering, the lettering allows you to also move along with those hits and know where your eyes are supposed to be going. We go from top to bottom, left to right. That's the way we're supposed to be reading. And the way that they worked they worked that panel really allowed that to feel very smooth and not forced at all. So I think like that panel is actually a perfect showcase of how well that team works together.
I agree, 100%. All right, so we have this piece of original art available on the campaign right now. So you guys can pick it up. It's $200. Keep in mind it is coming to you from the Philippines, so it's going to take a little while to get here, but we promise you it'll be here. It's one of the higher pledge levels. So you can check it out here, and it's one of the 3 pieces of original art that are left. And then another thing I want to point out, we have had a stellar record so far, a stellar record of selling the original art for every single Warline campaign. I would really love it if we could do this, because this is helping out Dexter directly. And, he's got a family, he's got kids, he's got everything. So, and speaking of Dexter, we actually have a question for you, Dexter, from Roberto. He's asking, what was the most challenging aspect of the story to capture visually?
Wait,
Is that a hard? Do you understand the question? Do you want me to rephrase it for you?
yeah, I understand this question.
Okay, he understands the question. All right, good. All right,
Okay. Most challenging aspect. I think the most challenging aspect is to transfer the script to illustrate it as clearly as possible so that the reader can understand what's happening. So, example on these pages, I said, I think on the script you in the middle panel you wrote montage of Kia fighting. So I'm thinking of ways and poses on how not to be repetitive. So it will be different poses, and then you can still see the actions clearly. So I think that's the most one of the most challenging.
That's excellent.
How to draw it clearly.
Yeah, and I gotta say, man, like, especially now that you're working on Yusun Shin. By the way, guys, Dexter just turned in 2 more pages of Yusun Shin today that are just absolutely insane. Like, if you guys saw the detail in these pages, it's crazy. And just seeing how much different, like, I used to do all the layouts for Yusun Shin for like as long as I've been working on the book with Dak. It is such a breath of fresh air to just give this off to Dexter. Here's a script, have fun with it, and just see him like completely surpass my expectations.
I'm learning every day.
You're doing a
I'm
great
learning
job.
everything. Yeah. When I read your script, I'm looking at it like watching a movie.
Absolutely.
So in my mind, I'm trying to visualize it per frame. Like, what if I'm watching a movie? What will it look like? So that's how I approach it.
That's awesome. Okay, now this is a question for everybody. So CJ, who is Chris Steiskel's son, and this dude, he is a badass in the making. Not only is he like a drummer and like he plays the drums like Neil Peart. He's like the next generation Neil Peart. But he is also Chris Steiskel's son, and he's come with me to. He was with me at Fan Expo New Orleans earlier this year, and he was actually helping us sell Warline. Like, this young kid is like 12 years old, going out and slinging books, and he's just awesome. So he wants to know, what do you guys think was the hardest part about Warline? And I guess I'll start, and then we'll go down to Chuck and Steve and Dexter. So for me, the hardest part was getting out of those dark tunnels. I mean, there was definitely some points where I asked myself, should this story exist? And should I, like, and how do I do this? Sometimes I would get really, really stuck in a rut. And I came up with the concept in 2020, and I was really close to abandoning it until I started working with Chuck, who kind of started clearing very seamlessly, I might add, clearing the pathway for me to tell the story that I wanted to tell with, and also because this is such a personal story for me. For those of you guys who don't know, it's kind of like Warline is a very cathartic way for me to describe some of the emotions that I was going through when I lost my stillborn child, and also what I went through during my divorce. So it is a very personal story to me, and channeling those emotions, that was probably the hardest part for me. And Chuck, we'll take it to you.
Yeah, I mean that's on there too, but I think the other part for me was that you had been working with the same editor and with a different art team and whatnot on all your other books, and so now we needed to find a new way to work together, you and I, but also for this book to work together, because it wasn't because Dak wasn't there to do what Dak does. We needed to find a way to do it our way. And so I think that was a lot of my early work, was kind of finding like, no, how are we gonna make Warline? How is Warline gonna be made the way this new team is gonna be making? And part of that was things like, you were talking about how you always did the layouts and stuff. And I'm sure you often had help from Dak and whatnot, giving you advice and thoughts and stuff. And that's not how I work usually. And I've seen Dex's work. Like, he didn't need us telling him how to tell a story. So a lot of my stuff was more just kind of setting down foundations and just being like, we need to look at it this way, and kind of helping to corral you over into a way that allowed you to work really well with this new team that you built.
You know what? I think the kindest way that Chuck said this in the kindest way, but I think the hardest part about working on this book was me, because he had to help me recalibrate the way that I went about comic book production, and that was something.
I mean,
to
be fair, you had worked with a living legend. You know what I mean? And so he had a living legend by his side to help him all the way. And suddenly, it's not even that this living legend just wasn't working on this book. This living legend had passed away. So now he feels this, there's this empty spot beside him. And so, like, my job is to come in, step beside him, not fill that spot, because that is not a spot that anyone can fill. But instead, stand beside him and be like, hey, man, there's a different way that we can do this without him that can still create a really badass book. And guess what? We fucking did. Like, look at this book. It's killer. And that's because he believed in his team, and we got the best out of everybody. And it's because he didn't need to lean on anyone. He realized that that the knowledge is there. He just needed to believe in himself. And I think that's really what happened.
And, that is, just so you guys know, for anybody who is been reading Easton Shin and is like, waiting for that next issue, it is because of Chuck that we're able to now proceed with and get as far as we have with this penultimate issue. And we're almost at the halfway mark with the art. In fact, we're there. We already did the next, we're done with half of the book already. And that's a major thing. So really, Warline, I want to say, gave me the confidence to move forward with Easton Shin. So, and I have Chuck to thank for that, and Dexter, you too. Steve, go ahead. What was the hardest part about working on this for you?
Oh, man, that's kind of a tough question, because I don't know. I feel like the book came to me pretty easy. Like, when I looked at the art, I just kind of would be like, okay, like, I see it in my head. Let's go. I think maybe the hardest part for me was kind of like getting out of the way a little bit, I guess is a way to say it. Like pulling back on what I normally do with like tons of rendering and stuff, and just letting the art, speak for itself, kind of. So that I would say was probably the hardest part if I had to pick one.
Yeah.
Sometimes like you can kind of use rendering as like a little bit of a crutch, like, oh, look how detailed this stuff is, but maybe because you spend so much time detailing, the storytelling might like suffer, or you're drawing attention to like the wrong thing, So in like trying to pull back and just look at the panels and be like, okay, this is what the art is trying to tell me, and like what the script is saying. How do I best convey that without adding unnecessary detail?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And another thing too, you didn't color issue 1, so
Right.
you had to come on issue 2 and kind of like just kind of pick up from the style that was already established. So I think that probably also presented some challenges too, in some ways, right?
Well, I think it was kind of cool because when I came into the book, like you didn't go, hey Steve, it needs to look exactly like issue 1. You kind of just were like, like, let me see what you got, kind of thing. And when I think we did a test, didn't we? I think we did a test page.
Yeah.
I just like colored the test page and we're like, yep, that's cool, let's go.
Yeah, I'll show you guys that test page that he did for us. It was actually the very first page of Warline number 2. And hang on just a second here. Oh, we got it here. No. It'll have to be the final page or the final book. But just as soon as I saw that piece of that colored art, I was just instantly, I was instantly on board. Hang on just a second here. Screen. Share the screen here. There we go. Boom. Like as soon as I saw this page, I was like, man, it was just bursting with so much color and just
beautiful.
Without the letters, it's it was just really popping. Just the blues and the greens, like they just all came together, and especially with the red and everything, it was fantastic. And at this point, I saw this, and I'm like, yeah, this is the guy for the book. This is the one that we want.
I did kind of have to go back to the previous issue and just like double check if there was any like pre-established environment, like for example the overseers, like I guess this would be like kind of like his office or lair. He's a military guy, so I figured he'd have like a lair / like office where he does business. He broadcasts from. So that was something that was pre-established. In the previous book, so I was make sure to like keep the greens and some of that stuff. I think in the last issue I kind of just did my own thing, but in this one I did go back and make sure it was like following what was previously set in some respects.
I really like the holographic feel that you gave the monitors. I thought you did really good on that. Like it's badass, man.
Oh, thanks, man. See, and that's something like kind of what I was saying before was like I could have gone in and like detailed a bunch of stuff and like the individual monitors and stuff, but then it would just be like kind of cluttery, And it's like looking at it and being like, okay, this is kind of what I need to do, the effect on it, and like that's it. Which for me sometimes can be hard because I'm like, oh well, gotta put some shadows on here and like whatever.
Yeah, for sure. No, dude, you did great. Matt Knowles is saying we're pulling out the massive campaign closeout. Absolutely. And let's look at where we're at right now in the campaign. So we are in the last 26 minutes of this campaign, folks. So this is it's do or die now. And if we have anybody that is interested in helping us at least hit $5,500, it can be done. If we sell one of these pieces of original art, we got page 20, and then we have page 28 here. I will show you guys the artwork for this one. And then this one was a relatively, I think, simple page to conceptualize. Sorry, it wasn't 28. It was page 29. It was a relatively easy page to conceptualize, but as you know, some artists would argue, it's a lot easier to write. Here, draw, someone destroying a bunch of crap, as opposed to actually being the person to draw someone destroying a bunch of. So here's Dexter drawing this incredible moment in the story where Kia just completely obliterates a bunch of crap around her. Again, we're not going to give any spoils here, but this is a very profound moment in the story here, and one of the final pieces of original art that we have put up for this campaign here. And Dexter, do you have anything you want to add to this about anything you want to say?
For this piece, my inspiration was mostly I was thinking about anime stuff, manga, how the Japanese artists drew those pages, explosion pages. So we want to give it a feel, deep impact, powerful page in your face, something like that.
Yeah.
So actually, I use gray wash on top. Then I use the brush, this one,
That's cool.
for stuff like that. I don't use technical pens.
And
I was
what's
looking
really-
at it.
Yeah, go
Sorry.
ahead, Chuck. No, Chuck.
I
go
was
ahead.
looking at it. It's funny because he said anime, and I was looking at it. I was like, that's some like Dragon Ball shit right there. Like seriously. So I like that he said it, that you really went with the kind of anime feel, because I was really feeling that when I saw this page. And what's awesome, guys, for those of you who are on the fence about picking up a page like this page is really cool because it doesn't look like an interior comic page. Like it's something you could put up on your wall and it just looks like a poster. So yeah, I think it's like that's a perfect page to buy because it'll, like I said, when you throw it up on your wall, it'll just look like a sweet action piece that somebody drew.
Yeah, it really is. It's fantastic. And again, one of the last 3 pieces of original art that is available on the campaign. Each one is going for $200. So feel free to go for it. We got 19 minutes on the campaign left. Now let's look at the color version of this page. Oops, let's close this out. It keeps making me do this here. Let's share the screen. I'm gonna do this. All right, now we got the color version of it, and I absolutely love what Steve did here. Like this was just an amazing page, and we didn't want to add too much text here. I feel like we did just the right amount of context. We got our sound effect in there, which I've had a lot of fun having Joel do different sound effects for us. But it's a simple page, but it says so much. You got anything you want to add to it, Steve?
Yeah, sure. I mean, this page definitely, like, when I saw it, I just thought, like, yeah, this is like a Dragon Ball type moment. Like, literally in my head, I just saw, like, "Arr!" So that's why, like, I did kind of like the glowing effects on the energy blasts that are like coming off of the explosion. Dexter always does a great job of just like adding all this cool detail in the inks, so just kind of letting like his organic lines like do their thing. And the only other thing I think I did was I did a little bit of a blur, like, but just around the edges, kind of like a vignette, and like a low opacity, so that it just gives it a little bit more of that like movement, and
I
then
like
like
it.
take it off of the middle, so it kind of like draws your eye right to the center of the page.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So here's what I'm going to do right now, because we are in the last 20 minutes of the campaign here. I'm going to create a Hail Mary reward, which it gets you the last 3 pages of original art. And I'm going to throw in a couple things for everybody, okay? So for the backer that does this, you're going to get obviously the original art from the last 3 pages of original art. The last 3 pages of original art. Extra week. Sorry, I'm just adding this in here right now. This is the final reward we're going to put in there. So not only am I going to do that, I'm also going to hook you up with all 3 cover A's, and I'm going to hook you up with all of the variants as well. This is going to probably go out in September, so because it's just going to take me a while to get everything. But we are adding it right now to the campaign. Let me just add it on there. And you'll get all the digital books too. So you're getting a big stack of stuff here. So this is for the last 3 pages of original art that we have showed here. I didn't prepare a special graphic for it, but it is now on the campaign. And let me just back to the campaign real quick. No. All right, so I just added it to the campaign. Let's get back to the campaign itself. And if you scroll down all the way to the bottom here, you will see the, where is it? Where is my original art Hail Mary? This is it right here. And it is going for $600. And we're going to include all these extra things for you. So it's 3 pages of art. Each one's going to go for $200, but you're also getting issues 1 through 3 of Warline, and then you're getting all 3 of the variant covers on top of that. You're getting the Canaan White variant, you're getting the Chris Van variant, and you're getting the Staniak variant, all of them included. That's a $60 package that you're getting for free as well. And that's just so we hit that goal of $5,500. I know it's a big ask, but we're, this is the time for miracles here. And we're at $5,208 right now. So far, we haven't had any backers in the last hour. And even if we end at where we're at right now, I'm happy. I just really want to get this out there, and I really want this original art to be out there. I want you guys to have this. I think everybody who's in this room right now wants you guys to have this so that the story lives on. Everything goes on. It belongs to somebody else. This is really what marks the success of a comic book, in my opinion, is when the book is out there, when it's distributed in every single way, but the characters live on when things like the original art go out there. And not only that, you are helping out Dexter directly. This is how he makes his money. So if you guys back this, Dexter will see a cut from this original art getting sold. This is what we agreed on. So, this is a last chance to help him out, help us out. Let's get that campaign funded here. And if we can get to 5,500, that's how I'm going to reward you. Is I'm going to hook you up with all those extra goodies there. So, and you can also increase your pledge too. If you want to increase your pledge and add that extra $600, you're welcome to do that too. Whatever works out for you, and however we can make this happen. There is one last page of original art here, and we'll walk through that, and then I think that's the end of our campaign here. And we'll close out this broadcast because honestly, I want to go out and celebrate, and you guys, I'm sure, want to go off and do other fun things too. So the last page of original art that we have here is a really interesting piece, and it was not one that I was originally thinking that would really be something that a lot of people would actually want to see, but I have something to share about it. So I'll bring it out right now and talk to you guys about it. So when I wrote this page, it was all about the Overseer. It was a moment where I got to see the Overseer in the way that I had always wanted to see him, like really losing the upper hand in the story, because in the first 2 issues, he's clearly, winning. And even, I would say, even the first part of the 3rd issue, he's really the ball's in his court. And this is a point in the story where the tables turn, and you really see those emotions in every single panel here. And Dexter has really nailed this. And he used real references for this because I channeled real emotions from the experiences that I had when, someone that I knew in my life was, yelling and mistreating me. If you look at panel 1 and panel 7 here, the actual look on the overseer's face was modeled after a real look that someone gave me. And so this was really important, and I was really happy with the way Dexter was able to nail this page and get all those emotions. And I just think it's a cool piece of art. Like if you were to hang this up in your wall at home, this would be really cool. And Dexter, do you have anything you want to add to this to say about this page?
Oh, this was a fun page to do with all the different reactions, expressions. Uh, for panel 1, I think I was thinking on those like animation stuff on how they draw faces when a character is thinking with the twisted lips. And then, well, for this page, actually for War Lion, my approach is I was inspired by those 90s raw energy. So that's why if you look at the pages, you can see a lot of lines.
Yeah, for a page
So,
where there's not a lot of action, there's still a lot of emotion. Yeah.
compared to Yisun Shin, I'm trying to make it as clean as possible. So for War Lion, I really enjoy drawing War Lion because of the raw energy, the power. I just want each page. I just want the reader to look each page na uh, like it's wow, man. There's something, lots of things happening with all details. That's why I commend Steve for doing the colors, which I think is less is more. Not overcomplicated, not overpowering the art, because the art alone has so much lines. It's already complicated. So for this page, I wanted to capture the expression of the overseer, losing his shit or something like that. And so it's like you can hang it like there and say, yeah, here again, one of these days, here we
Yeah.
go again, like that.
If you're constipated and you're having a really hard time, having that bowel movement, this piece of artwork could be the perfect inspiration. All right. Well, we got the colors for this page too. And yes, Dexter, everything you said here. But the one thing again I really appreciate about this is not a page where we see a lot of action. There's no punches being thrown. All you're seeing is just close-ups of the figure. But there's just so much motion in every single panel, so much drama, so much everything in every single panel. Now let's take a look at the colors, because I really think I'm able to see the colors here. Once you guys see them in just a second here, you're going to see just how amplified it gets with Steve's colors. And just check that out. I mean, it's just, he applied the right tone in every single panel. And, again, everything very deliberate. Steve, do you have anything you want to add to this?
Yeah, it's funny with pages like this because really it's kind of coloring wise, you're doing the same sort of thing in most of the panels, but you really have to highlight the important moments, So that's why, like, when he's banging his fist, it's like the only thing in the page that's yellow. And yeah, like Dexter was saying, he put so much of the detail into it that it was just kind of like go with what he's, what he's putting down and make sure, you kind of like just add the vibe and that's it, He did a lot of the rendering with the ink wash and all that stuff, so it makes it easy as far as like rendering, but you really have to kind of lean into the storytelling part of the coloring process.
I agree. This is excellent work. Okay, guys. So do you have anything you want to add, by the way?
I really love the red fuzziness of the glowing fuzziness of those eyes, those orbs. And I don't know what it is, man. My eyes just keep going back to that, and just kind of how it almost feels like they're pulsating in a way. Like just the more you stare at them, Yeah, man, I dig it. I really, you can feel the inspiration. Like you can feel that you were inspired by the art, and I really dig it, man.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, guys. So we are now officially in the last 10 minutes of this game, and we got some pledges here, which is amazing. We are now at $5,268, and we have less 10 minutes to go. So we're in the last 7 minutes. 5268, 154 amazing backers. Can we get that last few backers? Let's see. And the last couple things I want to think about, we have still, I think, let's take a look at it here. We still have the CGCs of Warline 1 that Frank Luzon did. It actually, the same thing is, we had a backer for this. This was one of the first books that we had. Someone had claimed, but then they decided to back out of their pledge. So we have the color version of the C2E2 variant cover that's limited. It's only 70 copies, graded 92. It's signed by Chuck, Frank, and myself. I'm sorry, I know it may not be easy to see this right now because of the glare here, but this is the cover art. It's a Tyler Kirkham, tribute cover of Warline 1. Really love this. We have a black, white, and red version, which is only limited to 30 copies. Also triple signed and graded at a 9.4. So these CGCs are available right now. They do come with issues 1 through 3, both digital and in print. You get the A covers with those CGCs too. So we're adding that on top of everything. And these are the last 2 awards that are going to get us to that $5,500, $6,000. Regardless, I gotta say I am really happy that we got to where we did with this, and I am really grateful that you guys were all here too to help me with the campaign, because this has just been such a wonderful process of hearing how the sausage is made with this book. So, Chuck, Steve, Dexter, thank you for being here tonight and chatting with us and being here for the
No problem at all.
Yeah. Happy to do it.
All right, so we got 5 minutes left. If anybody wants to, what should we talk about in the next 5 minutes? I guess maybe something that. Go ahead, Chuck. You're better with this than me.
Well, Captain Tuttle said something. They said, "Can we please get a variant cover where the overseer is yelling at Chuck and Chuck is just sitting there saying, 'Fuck you, buddy'?" And Tuttle, I would personally pay for that happily. I love that idea a lot. Just like a big old middle finger to the overseer. I would love that too.
I would like it as well. Who would you see drawing that? I actually, for some reason, in my head, I'm seeing JT Malloy draw that.
JT would, yeah, because he's got that punk sensibility. Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun, actually.
And speaking of JT, he actually colored the C2E2 2025 variant that we released earlier this year. And we have
beautiful.
Yeah, we got a couple of these. It's also triple signed by JT, myself, and April Reyna, who is the artist on the cover. And they did a phenomenal job on this. We actually sold the original for this cover, and it is on the campaign right now. See how many copies of this we have left. Let's see. There's one backer, so there's only 4 of these left, guys. And yeah, that's it. So that is it. Now let's see where we're at. We're in the last 4 minutes of this campaign, or 3 minutes, whatever. We're almost there, guys. I just want to say to you guys, the creative team, thank you for helping me get with this story. Thank you for helping me finish this and release it and do everything. I couldn't have done it without you guys. You guys are so pivotal to the process, and you've given me something that I will happily go to conventions and sell and stand in front of a table hours a day slinging, because I believe in all of you guys and the work that you're putting out. So thank you so much for everything. Thank you for helping me become a better creator, better, publisher, overseer comics. Thank you for everything you guys have done for us.
Oh, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. I've really enjoyed working on the story, so it's been a pleasure.
It's definitely will be our best collaboration together. This is for sure. I definitely want to see you come back, and we are going to do a sequel to Warlion. Right now, after we're done with this campaign, we're going to be really focused on getting Yi Shin completed, and then once we're done with Yi Shin, we'll be returning to World of Warlion. So there will be a sequel. Chuck and I have already talked about it. We're both very excited. This is not the last issue of Warlion, but it is the last issue of this mini-series here. So it does complete the story. It will feel complete to you. You're not going to be like, oh my God, where's the next issue? I got to wait 5 years. No, this is a good stopping point here.
Yeah.
When we come back to more, it'll be a welcome, it'll be a welcome, it'll be a welcome thing for you guys. All right, we got 90 seconds left to go. Do we have a miracle backer here who's going to help us get to that $5,500 mark? We have that Hail Mary reward. If not, I don't care. We had one hell of a campaign. I didn't expect it to go this well. In the last campaign we did, we were at our goal was $5,000, and we barely hit 5,000. This time we went over, and our goal was lower. So I just want to let you guys know, all of you backers, how much I appreciate all of you guys. You guys helped me get this result. You guys achieved this result for us. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you guys and the community, especially the comics community. Everybody who is putting out their own Kickstarters right now, who have shared this campaign out, who have done their part to help us spread the word about this. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I am so grateful to all you guys. You guys are phenomenal. This is such a great community to be a part of. And we're in the last 25 seconds of this campaign. Will there be a miracle, or will we stay where we're at? I don't give a shit. I am happy. If we go over, that's great. I'll probably have an extra drink tonight, but either way, in the next 14 seconds, I'm going to be so relieved, and I'm going out tonight. What are you guys doing? Are you guys partying tonight? Doesn't look like Chuck. Are you partying tonight?
Yeah, I've already started drinking.
He's already started drinking. All right. Steve, are you partying?
Nice.
Are you? You take
I will be working all night.
I will be working as well. That's why I needed a drink now.
all right. Well, I'm done working. This campaign's over. I did my part.
Oh yeah, man. Enjoy it, dude. Celebrate. Have a drink on me.
Yeah. No, work will resume tomorrow for me. But guys, thank you so much for being here, and congratulations on a successful campaign. This funded because of you guys, because of your hard work. So thank you very much for being here and for being a part of this journey with me.
Thank you for having me on, man. I really appreciate it, and I really enjoyed working with all of you guys.
Thank you.
Steve, your stuff's killer, man. Thank you.
We'll do more.
Appreciate it.
You're great. Excellent. All right, guys. Everyone have a great week. Memorial Day weekend to everybody. I will be back on Experience next week. Slinging comics. I'm just going to show you guys right now. I bought a big stack of comics today. This is only half of it. There's more, and I'm going to go tomorrow. So we're back next week with new comics. I got some really early Amazing Spider-Man books. I got some Savage Dragon, some other really cool stuff, moderns, all kinds of cool stuff. So next week we're going to come back. We're going to be slinging comics, and in the meantime, these wonderful gentlemen are going to be creating new stuff for you. And we're going to be bringing you our own independent creative comics too. So everyone, have a great night. Thank you so much for backing the campaign. We did it. Onward to victory. Take care, everyone.